while here from All Media Reviews. Some stuff coming up to here to do the like sort of anticipation. Again, I'm not going to do these as often. Maybe once a quarter, or once every 3 months. That'd be or once every 4 months. I don't probably once a season, once every a quarter, maybe every other month. I don't know. It's just the calendar stuff but this is just like sort of an anticipation preview for albums coming out. And that the biggest nature of this is it's always changing, and stuff gets pushed back, stuff shows up that you don't know about, and even comes out earlier than you think. So, but I did the 20, obviously the albums of the decade, half decade, and albums of the year from 2024. I might do a song list for. I could actually do one for both if I have the time. I do have a collection update. There's some stuff I'm still expecting in the mail soon, though. I'm kind of waiting on that. I've shown some of it, but CDs and vinyl, and even one cassette tape, and the CD A to Z, and I want to do 2008, 2009 Empire, progressive art rock calendars if I can get that. Cause I started doing 2008, but started getting it together. But after 2009, I want to just stop, and I may resume it later, and then I may do the CD A to Z, and then if the time allows, I'll do all this stuff. I want to do the shorts. That's really what I want to do. More of those, or try doing those. I shot some video today actually, but what I might just do is just shoot like a video, a video of here's the album and here's the song. If I could find it on there, but then the movies of the year. Even though I think if I do the movies of the year, it will be a rough draft. So anyway, but I'll get on to the calendar. I'm already talking for 1 minute and 46 seconds here. It's not that much actually. What was it? The Taste Like Music guy saying this is a kind of a thin start, kind of a light start. It is. So January 6th, you had Ours, Rockets, Red Glare, the official release of it, and I don't know if they're going to put out a physical version of it. Hopefully they will. I will buy it, of course. But that's on it came out just past Monday. But then you have the rest of January right now. Not a lot other than the Kevin Gilbert Estates putting out the KMG Archive Series 9 and 10 supposedly. We're already on the 10th, so hopefully it's going to find out about it soon. Yeah, not a lot. The Weeknd, my wife likes him. He's got an album on the 24th of January called Hurry Up Tomorrow. Idola, Mend, that's on the 17th of January. I'm not really a fan of them. And Franz Ferdinand and the Halo Effect had albums that came out today. But anyway, so moving on to February. The biggest releases, Dream Theater's Parasomnia, of course. I'm really not, because I listened to the first song, and even though Portnoy's back, I'm not sure what to think about this, but, I'm glad that they're back. I'm glad he's back in the band. They're not coming here on the tour as the first leg, but, I'm kind of, maybe I've sort of gotten past Dream Theater, what they've done, where they've gone really since Black Clouds and Silver Lions or Dramatic Turn of Events, but so that's on the 7th, and the same day actually there's an Obscura album. I haven't thought about that band in a long time. A Sonication, I think it is. But then Squid's third album, it's Cowards, which I liked their last album, but not as much as the debut album, Bright Green Field. But we'll see. The second single came out this week. Let me just pull that up. It was, I listened to some of it yesterday. Kind of, with everything that's been going on in my mind about music, has been struggling because it's just, I keep on thinking about what's happening in LA especially. But let's see here. I put it in the Friday releases on the Dream Theater forums. Yeah, Cold Dreaming, that was the new single. Or Building 650, rather. That was the new single from the new Squid album, but that comes out on the 7th of February, too. So that first week of the first Friday in February should be a big deal. I don't know if the Bandcamp Friday is happening, but that's Cowards. Then the week after is the Doves album. I was just mentioning Consolations for the Lonely, and their song Cold Dreaming came out yesterday, too. And again, I listened to part of it. Kind of liked it, but that's coming out on the 14th, Consolations for the Lonely. I liked their last album a decent amount, although I'm guilty in that I didn't listen to it as much after the year it came out. I think it was 21. It's either 2020 or 2021. And it didn't make my albums of the decade list, but it probably could have. I don't know. I liked it, but I like some of their earlier stuff more still, like Kingdom of Rust, and especially the debut album. Lost Souls. But anyway, it's great to have another Doves album coming out. People like Pattern Seeking Animals. Of course, it's 10 Letter and some of this other Spock's Beard guys. Friends of All Creatures comes out that day as well. But that's it for February for the most part for mine. There's a Unitopia live album. Live albums, I don't even care for Unitopia even, but I know people in the prog community do. So March, we have 2 albums from Ekelin officially coming out. Time Silent Radio 2 and 7 on the 7th of March. Again, with Ekelin, I don't really have that much interest in them, even though I like their stuff from the 90s, As the World, of course, and the one before it. May, I saw them play that live, but I don't know. Maybe it gets hyped up and I check it out, and I'll have my mind change a little bit about that. Band Spirit Box has an album on the 7th of March called Tsunami Sea and Car Mechanic. It's interesting, we got the same date of the month on a Friday on the 7th, but and okay, then the other big one in there's that the 14th, the week after that's kind of a big day because you have Coheed and Cambria's Vaxis 3, the father of Make Believe, which I'm guessing we'll get a single or two probably before that comes out on March 14th. But I really enjoyed both the Vaxis albums, so looking forward to that for sure. And the same day, the new Steven Wilson album, The Overview, comes out on March 14th. So yeah, no, and that should be a pretty. You got what February 7th and with Squid, and the 14th with Doves, and then in March you have John Anderson. The Band Geeks have a live album, Perpetual Change. Again, live albums big, not really that big into, but rare occasions I do like them. But Coheed and Cambria and Steven Wilson on March 14th, which should be great. The 50th anniversary edition of The Lamb Lies On Broadway comes on the 28th of March, but with I don't know if that's their version. I know that Dave Kersner and some other people were remaking The Lamb and Nick, but anyway. So I mean, I haven't taken that out. Car Mechanic, first quarter. I have a first quarter list, but that's basically it for like set dates for albums so far that I know of. But the second quarter, likely like in June, we may be getting the Deer Hunters Sunya. They're also supposed to be putting on a documentary that may be coming out this month or maybe pushed back to February. I don't know, which may have the first single, one of the songs they played live on their tour last fall. But that's the sort of biggest, like, sort of anticipated, somewhat time frame known after the first quarter, after, March, really. But now I'll just go over some of the stuff that is probably coming out. Could be coming out soon, could be coming out late in the year, but I'm still excited about it. People might be too. There's the Klimt 1918 album Amore, which has been talked about for a number of years. But that should be interesting. Paul Meany's motivational speaker was supposed to come out. Oh, it was supposed to come out originally 23, but it was going to come out. Then it was going to be like June. He put out a couple songs, and then he put out that EP. He put out one song in June, then the EP in November. I thought the whole thing was going to come out this fall. So hopefully he's posted some stuff. Paul Meany, formerly of Mute Math, or still represents Mute Math. So you have Moron Police double album Pachinko, which they've been working on for a long time. It's to be a double album. So I think there may be a few double albums this year if they do come out from artists that have been working on these records for several years. But last album with them was Boat on the Sea from 2019. So, but I know that my friend Sandra. He ended up posting a video saying, still working on the album. That was like September, I think September, October. I think it was September. But whenever it comes out, I'm going to be excited about it, though. Fido's Automoto Animus, which originally was going to be anticipated 23, but he works in Hollywood, so he has other priorities. He's had other records that I've just kind of liked. I like that Doomsday Afternoon record most, but... And then Brian Scary's The House That Time Forgot, and possibly one other. This is definitely, and I know the Patreon's been getting like some extra demos and stuff like that. The one song he played on some radio show appearance was really good. It's right up there with the Deer Hunter. I would say actually among everything that's coming out this year, there's really not much, if anything, that is a bigger deal to me. Maybe other than the Deer Hunter Sunya and then the Kevin Gilbert stuff. Than this Brian Scary record. So, and there's going to be another record. He's got 2 records in the works. So, but I don't know if it's Brian Scary and the Shredding Tears, because Birds, his last proper full length was just under his name. So I don't know, but you like progressive power pop, piano driven stuff, orchestral stuff by a mad genius who's in that vein of like Casey Crescento, Brian Scary. Certainly very excited for that. So Thrice has an album called Horizons West or something. So I know Dustin Kensrue put out a solo record that was like folky, kind of country-ish, but never been able to get into Thrice. But so that's the sort of list of sort of thought likely with titles. But then there's stuff that's sort of thought to be coming out, but not that much information has been given yet. Kelsey Ayer of Local Natives, or formerly of Local Natives now, has got something coming out. Though he had done some work at a collaboration outside of Local Natives before he left Local Natives, I didn't realize. But I love Local Natives, and I like him in Local Natives when he was in Local Natives, so I'm curious about that. Capital Cities, you'd think would release all these. They put out like 3 or 4 covers and like 3 or 4 original songs. I don't know. I would think they're going to be releasing something. Crimson Glory, there was a lot of talk, was last spring, so hopefully that thing. They have the new singer. They did some live shows, or they were scheduled. He sang some of the old material, but it's been a long time since we had any Crimson Glory. It's like 30 some odd years, maybe, close to 30 years. So that's another one. A Formal Horse. They've been a few years since their last record. That was like 2021. Meat Mallet. Yeah. So looking forward to that. Grimace. Their last record, unfortunately, wasn't that good. The Romanian band that kind of sounds like ours and U2, but they have all their other records up until their last one I really liked. So curious about that, and they're somewhat prolific, so I'm not surprised. I should really be including this in the titles, but they haven't announced it officially, but they've contacted me. Hotel the Laughing Tree, A Mountain Fastness. So all I can say is that I've heard some stuff. I like some stuff, but I'm trying not to burn out on it. But I anticipate hearing back from Brandon probably from Hotel the Laughing Tree about more details about this. I would say probably by sometime this spring or at least by June, but it could be in a few weeks. Mountain Fastness is probably the title. Um, the Presence of Wolves, maybe. That's one. Leto and Wright. I don't think they put out now. The last time they released a proper full length, though, I didn't even know about until a year later. So I don't go to see them as much as I used to. I haven't been able to in many years. But local sort of folky prog band that I love, John Wright. Major Parkinson's. Part of their next album is part of the Valessa series, Valessa Showbiz, I think. Um, Probably coming out. I know that Sandra's with them too, from Moron Police, but they posted some stuff just like a week ago. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come out in the fall. It might come out sooner than that, but it probably gonna be called like something like Valessa Showbiz. Someone mentioned in the comments that that's really what it could be called. Muse, don't know. Curious, but not super optimistic. Naiku from Eldrin, which I don't know what the deal is with Eldrin. Eldrin may be completely gone or a long hiatus, and so he's doing his own music. He had a crowdfunding thing, and I think he made it, but we haven't heard much. It's been a couple years since the crowdfunding thing. The Proto Men, Run Rivers puts out songs. Who knows? I should just take him off the list. Savage's Curtain Call, of course, which I just saw a video podcast interviewing 3 of the guys from Sabotage, not John Oliva, but they're doing tour dates, which probably could sort of escalate some of the momentum for this album if it's going to be called Curtain Call, the final Sabotage album. Maybe it'll be a double. Maybe it'll be like King's X, where they'll record so much stuff they'll be able to put out 2 albums. But at this point, I'm not assuming anything, but I think that the live shows will probably help. We'll at least probably see more stuff in like sort of online, social media, and talking about them, interviews and stuff like that. So Self, of course, he put out the one proper song, but could it be the year? Right with Brian Scary, but I mean the chances are less likely that this comes out because obviously he has a day job doing soundtracks for like HBO and movies, and he's paying his bills that way. But that track was a banger that he put out this year. Sting, don't know. Subterranean Masquerade. I don't know if they put out. I think they would have said something because I know there was some talk about it, a little less than a year ago about their next record. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out some point this year. The Tea Party. They're kind of hit and miss online. Sometimes they can be active. Sometimes you won't see stuff for a while. But yeah, I know they had the last interview I saw that they were working on a new record. And I think that was in like 2023. So Terminal 3, Greg Harrigas from the Minnesota band, a different project of his, another local album. Textures. I love their last record, which was like I don't know how many years ago, several years. And they like did like they broke up, so it's kind of a reunion album. Thank You Scientists with their new singer. Be curious about that, of course. The Bird and the Bee. Here's another biggie, which I didn't get to the town hall last night, unfortunately. But the Rain of Kindo. Should go to the Patreon and see if anything was posted. It still might be called Wither and Bloom. I don't know. I mean, I've heard many of it because I've been to the Patreon, many songs from it, but it's probably going to be a double album too. As the last time I did converse with the group and with Joey from Rain Kano, that was I don't know, that was like over 2 months ago, maybe like 3 months ago. It was like October. Toe Hider, probably more than likely. Tokyo Jihen, maybe. Um, so that's kind of the likely. Then there's the kind of wish list of like the Miracles of Modern Science, who did that reunion track last year back in April. Never in White Lights Again, Act 4. Daniel, Victor, of course. Northern Abbey, Nick Lambert from Falling Up and everything, his solo project. Pain of Salvation's The Deep End. If Daniel, I mean, they've been doing live dates, so they did, I don't know, several live dates, several festivals over the last like 3 or 4 months. Maybe that finally comes to fruition. Maybe not until the fall, but the Red Paintings, Anthems for Unwanted Wars. The thing is, I would have thought this thing is dead, but they've been posting on Instagrams like 3 or 4 different times over the last 6 months of people going to listening parties listening to it. So it may come out. It may be a couple of years before it comes out officially, but Mask of the Phantasm, I got to find out more information about that, but I know a couple of years ago, the second album from him, Omar Ghaznavi was talking about. There was just a big hassle trying to print those vinyl for him, but just put it out digitally, I would be happy. Love that record. The Tea Club, The Velveteen, and White Willow. Then there's the likes of Dredge and Carnival, of course, which are just pipe dreams always every year. Maybe we'll be wrong about that one of these years. So, and there's stuff that I'm probably not thinking about that that could come out. I would love to see. I'm going to do a video on this guy, Jared Draugens. They Must Be the Holy Ghost, because the last thing he put out was 9 years ago almost. So, but that's sort of my preview for 2025 now. Like I said, I'll try to do more of these sort of new release calendar updates like I did in 2024, but I just don't think it's going to be at the same rate. I may just plan to sort of do it like this is the second week of January. Maybe the second week of April will be the next one. Maybe in March or April, then maybe June or July. Maybe once every 2 or 3 months, depending on things. And I like that opportunity to do like all these things just got to announce. I'll try to announce those like in microblogs or in shorts or something. Maybe I'll just use that for shorts. But anyway, that's about it for now. What are you looking forward to in 2025? There's other things I'm looking forward to also, to just getting more into, like certain artists like 10cc and Joe Jackson and Sheena Ringo, and some of these other artists like Ultravox. But that's more or less what I'm thinking about. There's a lot of stuff planned for 2025, of course. I just hope we have more uplifting mindsets and karma than we've been dealing with the first few weeks of the year. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next.